In a text adventure, you need to be able to take treasures that you find in various locations or rooms and drop them in other rooms. In the last lesson, I showed you how to add treasures to rooms. Before the player can take or drop them, I have one other big problem that needs to be solved. At the moment, my game doesn't accept two-word commands. Up to now, the only commands it's understood have been one-word or even one-letter commands such as N, S, W and E to go north, south, west and east. But now it needs to understand two-word commands such as take sword or drop ring. And later on, it may need to understand much longer commands such as put the gold ring into the silver box. It's now time to start working on a better command interpreter, that is, a better parser. I'm Huw, and this is another lesson in my adventure game programming course. So to be clear, I am not actually going to show you how to take and drop treasures in this lesson. What I will do is show you how to let the player enter a command to take or drop a treasure. That is, I'm going to extend my parser to deal with two-word commands. Now let me be absolutely clear on what my parser is. It's a set of routines that lets the game understand relatively simple English language commands. It is not a natural language processor. It is not AI. It has no ambitions to understand real English grammar. It just needs to make sense of the sort of simple instructions that adventure game players are likely to enter. That's when they want to move around and take and drop things, look at things, or put one thing inside another thing, and that kind of activity. For the time being, I'll stick with just one- and two-word commands. As the parser will eventually contain quite a few different functions, the first decision I need to make is where to keep all the code. I could create a parser class, but since there'll only ever be one parser, I won't ever want to create any parser objects. So a parser class seems pretty pointless. Of course, I could put all the code in my game class in game.cs, but that would end up making it quite a long code file, and generally I prefer to keep my code files as short as possible. What I really want is just a separate code file without having to create a separate class. In C# I can do that by creating a partial class. A partial class is nothing more than a class whose code is stored in more than one file. I've created a file called game.parser.cs, and I've declared the class to be a partial class. It's part of the game class. The rest of the code in that class is in game.cs. And I have to add the partial keyword there too. If you're writing a game in Java or some other language without partial classes, you might need to find some other way of organizing your parser code. In my Java adventure game, the one I describe in my book on Java game programming, I put the parser code in a class that contains all static methods. Static methods can be invoked from the class like this. And that's another way to create, in effect, a library of functions without having to instantiate objects from the class. I need to have a dictionary of words that the game can understand. Here that is literally a dictionary. It's a dictionary object of key-value pairs, where the key is the word and the value is a word type. The word type is something called a WT. So what's that? Well, it's this enum that contains identifiers such as noun, verb and adjective. I've explained enums and dictionaries in earlier lessons, so if these are new to you, use the course playlist under this video to find those lessons. Now when I add a word to my vocab dictionary, I also add its grammatical type, so I can see that sword and sausage are both nouns, whereas take and drop are verbs. That's going to be valuable information when I try to make sense of a command. It will make it easy for me to know that take sack makes sense, whereas sack take doesn't. I've added a call to init vocab. That's the method that initializes the dictionary in the game constructor. Okay, so now that I have a dictionary of words, I need some routines to deal with commands containing either one or two words. As in earlier versions of this code, this all starts with a run command method which splits the input string into tokens, that is, individual words. Then it passes a list of those words to the parse command method. This method has changed quite a bit in this version of my game. It examines each word in a word list and checks if it's in the game's vocabulary, that is, if it is a key in the vocab dictionary. If it is, then its associated value is assigned to the WT variable word type. If the word is an article such as the, a or an, my code just ignores it. So you can enter take sword or take the sword and they work just as well because my code strips out the word the. If this is some other type of word, such as a noun or a verb, then it adds the type to the command list, which is a list of word and type objects, a string followed by a WT value, so it's just like a standalone key-value pair, like the elements in my vocab dictionary. The process command method begins by checking the number of words in the command. Currently, it accepts 1 or 2 word commands, recalling that articles such as the and a have already been removed, so they're not counted. If the command is of a valid length, that's between 1 and 2 words, a switch statement passes it to other methods that have been defined to deal with commands of specific lengths. Later on, I'll add more methods here to handle longer commands. Let's see what happens if the user entered the command take sword. So here you can see I've put a breakpoint on this line in the run command method. Now let's go through it in the debugger, and I'll enter the command take sword, and it stops at that breakpoint. Now I parse out the words by splitting the command. You can see here I call this split method on these delimiters. That's the ones defined up here. So that splits the command into individual words where a space and a dot mark the end of each word. And then I create a list of words, str list, and you can see that that contains 2 words, take and sword. And it passes this list to parse command, so let me continue debugging. So here we are up in the parse command method, and it hits this breakpoint down here. Now I'm not going to go through all this code in detail. You can see it on screen. You can pause it and look at it if you want to. All it really does is check that each of the words in the list I pass to it, that's this word list up here, you can see, which contains take and sword. It checks that each word is found as a key in the vocab dictionary. Carry on debugging, press F5 in Visual Studio. Now it hits this breakpoint. For each word that's found, its value, that is its WT word type, such as WT noun or WT verb, is located in the vocab dictionary. And that is then added as the second element here, that's of a word and type object. Now I go through and find the next word, and that is this time sword, and its word type this time is noun. All being well, if no errors are found, the command list is then passed as an argument to the process command method. You can see the command list here has 2 elements. First is a verb take, and the second, of course, is the word sword, which is a noun. Press F5 again, and now we're in process command up here. Again, I can easily check that I still got the same commands that are passed to it. So this is the command parameter, and you can see it's the same values, take and sword. Now it's got a count of 2, so when I press F5, it hits this switch case statement down here, case 2, that's switched on command count, and that calls process verb noun. That's the method that deals with 2-word commands. F5 again, we're in process verb noun. It checks what the 2-word and type elements are. So it checks that the first one has the type verb and the second one has the type noun, because this method will only deal with commands of that form, a verb followed by a noun such as take, sword, drop, ring, and so on. So since the word of the word and type object WT is take, and the word of word and type object WT2 is sword, This switch case statement is going to be executed and the takeob method will be called, passing to it the wt2.word, that's the sword, and that's where the actual taking will be done. In the next lesson, I'll explain the code that does the taking and dropping. As always, thanks for watching this, and I know this is starting to get a pretty complicated coding project, but stick with it, because we'll get around to doing what adventure games are all about, taking and dropping treasures. And if you've missed any lessons in this course, click the playlist link under this video so you can see all the lessons in the correct order. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up, and to get notifications when I upload new lessons, be sure to subscribe and click the bell.